In this edition of Impact,
Barbie, you're beautiful.
we explore the controversial life of one of America's most famous fashion icons.
Around 1950, the co-founder of Mattel was observing her 8 or 9-year-old daughter playing with movie star paper dolls, and she thought, wouldn't it be great to three-dimensionalize this and turn it into a toy?
But first, we take a look at a recently imported Japanese fashion trend that is gaining a fan base in the US.
It's become so popular that I can go to things like Lolita tea parties or Lolita meetups or International Lolita Day. You just see random people on the street, and just by that alone, you can tell.
Welcome to Impact. I'm Harmony Apel. Fashion can be more than just the clothes you wear. It can be a culture, it can be controversial, it can even be a lifestyle.
All right, what can I get for you?
I like vanilla yogurt with vanilla.
Fantastic. Anything to drink?
Kat Steele is a waitress at the Royalty Cafe and Art Space in Culver City, California, the first maid cafe in America. Maid cafes originated in Tokyo, where the waitress's cartoonish costumes attract fans of Japanese animation, known as anime.
The idea is for the maids to look like anime maids. So as you can see, I have my big crazy anime pigtails in, and some of the girls also have, some more cartoony, features that they wear with their costume.
But tonight, the Royalty is hosting a different type of Japanophiles, Lolitas. Lolita started in Japan in the 1970s as a fashion featuring Victorian-style ruffled skirts with petticoats and puffed sleeves. But after being adopted by Mana, a popular cross-dressing Japanese musician, Lolita branched out.
The idea is to capture some sort of innocence or sweetness about you. There's many different types of Lolita. It's still based very much in the baby doll, Victorian Alice in Wonderland look, but there is Gothic Lolita, which, as the name implies, black, lots of, crosses, lots of Gothic imagery. There's Sweet Lolita, which is very raver, candy-inspired, a very pastel palette.
While for some who consider themselves Lolita, it's simply a fashion, for others, it's become a lifestyle. Fans of Lolita hold tea parties and other social events. Tonight's event is the Rococo Rendezvous, a masquerade ball. Michelle Wynn is the editor-at-large of the American Gothic and Lolita Bible. For the masquerade, she's dressed not as a Lolita, but in a costume of her own creation. She says the Lolita movement is gaining momentum.
5 years ago, there's no way I'd walk down the street and see some girl who I didn't know wearing Lolita fashion. There's no way. I knew everybody who did it because it was such a small community. And now it's become so popular that I can go to meetups. And, we live in Los Angeles, so it's a little bigger than most towns. But, when I go to things like Lolita tea parties or Lolita meetups, you just see random people on the street, and just by that alone, you can tell.
The Gothic and Lolita Bible is a Japanese magazine that teaches girls how to dress, accessorize, and act Lolita. Wynn published the first volume of the American version in February of 2008 to help Americans who were interested in Lolita but had difficulty finding information in English.
My main objective for starting the English Bible was so that anybody who had an interest in it could read up about it in English, and it's so accessible now because of that. I'm really happy that it's out.
More Americans may be wearing Lolita styles, but Danielle Hill, a sweet Lolita, says that her look confuses many people.
They're like, what are you, like Little Bo Peep or something? and most of the time, unlike other looks I've had, people don't even ask questions, they just sort of look at you.
Lolita has also become associated with collectible Japanese ball-jointed dolls. These dolls were created independently of the Lolita movement, but due to their popularity within the Lolita community, They now often come dressed in Lolita fashions.
There's many different types of dolls that are popular with the community. The clothing is very detailed, usually based upon Lolita designer brands. They're very expensive, and we have a lot of collectors come in here specifically to have, parties with their dolls.
Carly Breslin, who is a wa Lolita, or traditional Japanese Lolita, says that dressing like her doll is part of the fun.
We all want to look pretty like our little dolls. So I think it's kind of like, if they can look so cute, I can look that cute.
Breslin also says that for her, Lolita is a rejection of modern American youth culture.
What Lolita is I personally feel it's a backlash of all these hot pants and the Britney Spears culture. It's getting back to like, we make our own clothes, we make our own food, we like to sew, we like to dance, we like to chat, we like to send letters. It's not like, let's go out and get drunk at the nightclub, It's more like, more social, getting back to girl empowerment almost, being independent in your own thought and fashion.
While most Lolitas are teenagers or women in their early 20s, the culture attracts fans of all ages. Julianne Busher, who is dressed for the Rococo Rendezvous as an aristocrat Lolita, says she thinks escapism is part of the appeal.
We're living in this horrible economic time. I guess it's just the sense of dressing up. The romantic notion of sitting around eating bonbons and, what would that really be like?
But for many Lolitas, it's just a great excuse to play dress up.
Halloween is my absolute favorite holiday, and just the idea that Halloween can kind of be a lifestyle.
I've always really liked dressing up. You're in your little shiny shoes and your little frilly dress, and it's just, I don't know, it makes me happy.